Guys, am I pretty now? I forgot to turn on the light. I'm blind. I can't see a thing. Guys, I want to introduce you to a new concept in this video, which is starting to become very prominent in the field of psychology. In a way, it is like the answer to all of life's big problems. It's just that we never had a word for it until now. It changed my own perception of how I viewed challenging situations as a young adult, or as a new adult, if you may. And I know that this is exactly what you too have been missing from your toolbox. Your friendly neighborhood psychology geek is here for your rescue. So get comfortable. In this video, I will tell you what it is, where it came from, and how you can use it to live a happier, more fulfilling life. So, we all have been told time and again the value of being resilient in the face of life's challenges. We all have been told to deal with it and learn to live with the subpar outcomes of our hardships. That every time you are faced with a difficulty, you have to adjust and be scarred by the consequences. Because let's face it, life is unfair and chaotic. And at any moment in time, things can go very wrong, leaving us feeling powerless. Take the COVID-19 pandemic as a black swan event for perspective. But what if I told you that there was another way? Instead of succumbing to the stress and the pressures of your circumstances, what if you could rise above it? This is known as antifragility, or becoming the opposite of fragile. It is a very powerful concept introduced by the author Nassim Taleb in his book Antifragile, Things That Gain from Disorder. In the book, the author explains antifragility is beyond resilience. The resilient resists shocks and stays the same, but the antifragile gets better. It urges us to go beyond the realm of simply coping with our problems as they come our way. It's the hero's journey that we all resonate with, about getting stronger in the face of stressors, chaos, and disorder, and coming back better, faster, stronger. So rather than just dealing with the problem, you actually use the experience to improve. Well, to answer this question, you need to understand what resilience means in the first place. You put pressure on a system and it bounces back to its original position upon releasing the stress. That is resilience. But anti-fragility, on the other hand, is when pressure is put on a system, it simply does not just bounce back to its original position. In fact, it goes farther and higher and becomes stronger. Like how when we lift weights in the gym, that is essentially putting pressure on your muscles to break them down. But when they recover, they become stronger, bigger, and more defined. And to understand this in psychological terms, this is known as PTG, post traumatic growth. Now more than ever, we need to rise above the real world challenges that have become the norm. The volatile job markets, the ever growing workload, the need to constantly keep learning, upskilling, and reinventing ourselves, while also actively contributing into social relationships and working towards living a well rounded life. Achieving an anti-fragile mindset is not something that's going to happen overnight. Like with everything worthwhile, it takes time and practice. And once you do get a hang of it, you will see the improvements. You will see how much stronger and more fortified your life has become. You will find yourself to be more ready for life's challenges as opposed to shying away from them. Anti-fragility draws a lot of its inspiration from the Stoic school of thought. So the first step in becoming anti-fragile is quite literally making your peace and deeply internalizing the hard fact that everything in life is susceptible to stress, change, and some kind of volatility. Go back and listen to that again. So, in comes positive psychology to the rescue. According to the founders of the Whole Being Institute, the SPIRE model is a philosophy of life which teaches that in order to be happy and healthy, we must attend to 5 crucial aspects of life. And neglecting any one of these would result in a lopsided life filled with constant struggle and would make it incredibly difficult for us to have a fulfilling human experience. So, this model gives us a basic structure to channel our energies onto things that actually hold a great deal of power and influence over us. So, anytime you deviate or feel crushed or lost, just recenter your focus on SPIRE. Think of these as building blocks of becoming anti-fragile. S stands for spiritual dimension of our existence, and it does not have anything to do with religion or your belief in God, but has everything to do with what feeds the soul to have a direction and overarching purpose and meaning in life. P represents the physical, so what we eat, how much sleep we get, the level of physical exercise we do. All these impact how happy we feel on a day-to-day basis. So it's not just about what goes on in our minds that impact our moods, but rather it's the mind-body connection that makes all the difference. I is for intellectual. In tune with what I just said, stimulating our minds with activities that foster creativity and learning is a very powerful way to increase our well being. So, think of your brain as a muscle. If you don't use it, you might just lose it. R is our relationships with ourselves and others in our life. Creating loving and stable support systems give meaning and strength to all other aspects of our life. This is one of the strongest indicators of how well prepared we feel to deal with difficult circumstances and challenges and uncertainties. And the last but certainly not the least, E, which marks the emotional dimension of our being. Our ability to use our emotions to better understand ourselves and others around us is what signals high emotional intelligence, which is argued to be a stronger indicator of success in life as compared to IQ, which is the intelligence quotient. I will link my video, which explains in 5 minutes what it takes to be emotionally intelligent. So do watch it to learn more. So, fortifying these essential elements of our life will give us a more clear direction to focus on. In turn, living in a more conscious manner. And no matter what comes our way, we will have a better chance of getting transformed by it positively, rather struggling to find a way back to how things used to be. Change is inevitable, but it can be a catalyst for growth and for better things to come. So prepare yourself and welcome it with open arms. And I will see you in the next one.